Guys, welcome back to Moto Rides. Now today we're looking at the best beginner bikes in Kenya, basically the bikes that are popular, most loved, but also we're looking at their specs and what they are good at. So let's go. Now, first on the list is the Kawasaki Ninja 400. Now this is one of the coolest bikes, also when it comes to price it's a little bit high, but it's one of the bikes that if you went to sport bike, this is something that you really want to get. If you have money, go for it. Now this comes with a 399cc liquid cooled parallel twin engine, 45 horsepower, basic horsepower at 10,000 rpm, and 37 newton meter of peak torque at 8,300 rpm. So basically it has that power for a beginner bike. It also comes with ABS and has a transmission of 6-speed gearbox. So it's basically a very good beginner bike. Next on the list is none other than the CFMOTO 310K. This comes from the Beth Mobility. It is a single-cylinder liquid-cooled engine. It comes with 292cc, 29 horsepower at 8,750 rpm, 25 newton meter of torque at 7,250 rpm. ABS, it has a dual-channel ABS, 6-speed gearbox transmission, and a slipper clutch, among other factors. This is a good bike, not very popular, but when you look at it and compare it with the bikes we'll be mentioning in terms of features and all that, you'll come to appreciate this one. Price ranges from as low as 350, that means a used bike, 350,000 Kenya shillings, to 600 to 700,000 Kenya shillings. Next on the list is the BMW G310 GS. Now this is one of the classic bikes in terms of quality, in terms of equipment, build and everything. This is up there. The price also speaks for the bike because you can get it from as low as 800,000 to as high as 1.3 million Kenya shillings, and so on and so forth. It has a 312 and 13cc single cylinder engine with a 33.5 horsepower at 9250 rpm and 28 newton meter of torque at 7,500 rpm. Top speed is around 143 kilometers per hour, and is also a liquid. It also has a liquid cooled engine. Gearbox transmission is 6-speed, and ABS is also standard for the bike. Next popular beginner bike in Kenya is the Yamaha FZ 25. You can find it from the Yamaha dealers anywhere in Nairobi. Price and average of 600,000. That's for the new bike. It can go as low as 400,000 for a used bike. This depends on the year of manufacture and condition. Now, it comes with a 5-speed gearbox transmission. ABS is standard. 249cc single cylinder. Horsepower is 20.8 at 8,000 rpm. Okay, and in terms of fuel consumption, it consumes around 42 kilometer per liter, and then fuel tank capacity is 14 liters capacity. This is such a good bike, so if you're trying to get a bike, you can always visit their shop and have a look at this, test ride and all that, then make a choice. Next on the list is none other than Suzuki Gixxer SF 250. This bike, you can easily get it from the Suzuki dealers here in Nairobi. It goes for around 600,000 Kenya shillings, new one. Basic specs, we're looking at 249cc single cylinder, and basic horsepower of around 26. In terms of torque, it's 22 newton meter of torque, and it's a 6-speed gear transmission. ABS is also available, so it's good for beginners. If you're afraid of making mistakes in terms of handling of the brake and all that, this can help you save on that. And also when you have a look at the looks for a sport bike, it looks very, very appealing to the eye. So it's something that, if my height was 5.7 and below, probably I'll try this, but I'm a 6-foot guy, so this is not for me. Okay, we go on. Now, next on the list, remember guys, this list is not based on top to bottom. This random list based on the research, when you go to these events, or which are the bikes you see, what are the owners saying, are they worth it? That is based on it's all based on that. Let's keep going. Now we have the Benelli 302S. This has a 300cc single cylinder, which is liquid cooled. In terms of power, it comes with 30 horsepower at 11,000 rpm, and torque, it comes with 25.6 newton meter of torque at 9,750 rpm. Fuel tank capacity is 14 liters, so it can, you know, hold you for a couple of miles. Now, braking, it has a dual channel ABS. In terms of transmission, it comes with a 6-speed gearbox transmission. Now, KTM 250. Now, this is kind of expensive for a beginner, but if you have the money, why not? 780,000 brand new. Second hand, that means used bike. You can get it from as low as 450, 400,000, depending, you know, on the year of manufacture and the condition. Specs: 248cc single cylinder, liquid cooled, 30 horsepower at 9,000 rpm. And then when it comes to torque, we have 24 newton meter of torque at 7,500 rpm. The tank capacity is 13.5 liter, a little bit small. Transmission, it comes with 6-speed gearbox transmission. In terms of mileage, fuel consumption, around 41 kilometer per liter. This is very, very good. So kindly check on this. Go to the KTM dealership in near Nyayo area in Nairobi, and, you know, have a look at the bike. You won't miss with this one. If you're to ask me about KTM 250 or 390, I'll advise on 390 because you're buying them in Kenya. The price is basically very close, same price, if I may say, around 780,000 brand new. But now with this one, you get 43 horsepower instead of 30 from the 250, 373cc single cylinder engine, and then in terms of torque, you get 37 newton meter of torque at 7,000 rpm. Dual channel ABS, of course. In terms of fuel tank capacity is the same, 13.5, and gearbox transmission is 6-speed. So basically with this one, you're getting more value for money, and also better in terms of performance. For me, I'll pick this, but remember, this bike is not for very tall people. The seat height is not up there. So when you're deciding what to do, kindly consider that. Now, next is a bike that I own at the moment, the Zontes T310. This bike comes at around as low as 550,000 Kenyan shillings to as high as 800,000 plus Kenyan shillings. In terms of specs, it comes with a single cylinder liquid cooled engine, 312cc. In terms of power, it has 35 horsepower at 9,500 rpm, and torque is 22 foot-pound of torque. Fuel tank capacity is 19 liters. Basically, the 2020 version, you get a 15 liter, but the 2022-21, you probably get a 19 liter fuel tank capacity. Transmission is a 6-speed gearbox. It comes with Bosch ABS and an electric windscreen. And other factors or things you might like about this bike is the keyless ignition, 2 riding modes, among others. Okay, so it's one of the bikes I like. You know, adventure bike, a lot of comfort. So if you are tall, 6 foot and above, this will be your thing. That means you should try it. Go to Bet Mobility, have a look at it, and you decide what you think about it. Anyways, let's keep going. And guys, remember to subscribe, hit the like button, share your thoughts, tell us which bike you think you have left out. Okay, we're doing the best we can over here, but you know, getting your view will help us, you know, grow the channel and grow our content. Next, we have Bajaj Dominar 400. Basically, they have a very similar engine with the KTM Duke 390. So if you're even to buy it, you'll buy it from the KTM dealership. Now, it's powered by a 373cc liquid cooled engine, single cylinder. It comes with, in terms of power, 40 horsepower at 8,800 rpm. 35 newton meter of torque at 6,500 rpm. Fuel tank capacity is kind of low, at 13 liter fuel tank capacity, which is not bad. and then dual channel ABS, among other factors, or including the 6-speed gear transmission. Last but not least is the Tekken 250X. This is an off-road and on-road bike basically. It has a 250cc single-cylinder engine, 16.5 horsepower at 7,000 RPM, which is kind of low if you compare with other bikes you've talked about. For torque, you're looking at 17 Newton meter of torque at 6,500 RPM. It's air-cooled, and the transmission is a 6-speed gear transmission. This is probably the cheapest bike in the group, from around 297,000 Kenya shillings to around 370,000 Kenya shillings. So guys, that is it when it comes to the most popular beginner bikes in Kenya, or probably the best beginner bikes in Kenya at the moment. However, we have notable mentions like the Kawasaki Ninja 300, the Honda CB 300R, Yamaha YZF R3, also with the Kawasaki vs X, that is a 300 one. Yeah, so that's it. Remember guys, if you're looking into buying a bike, look at your budget. While you're planning on your budget, kindly also remember to plan on the safety gear, man. That is very important. You might think you just bought your bike, but you have no safety gears, and safety gears are kind of expensive. So don't just budget on your bike alone and forget about the safety gear. It's all expensive. It's an expensive lifestyle. All the best in your journey.